The Last Dance is the 17th episode of the 7th season of Full House. This is directed by Tracy. And as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And it's probably one of the hardest episodes to watch, but in a way, one of the most beautiful as well. And I cried pretty much throughout the entire thing. So with this one, I'll go through things chronologically. Often with Full House, I'll talk about each part of the narrative in turn, but here everything is connected. And it starts off with Papouli arriving, and this is Jesse's grandfather, of course. He's played by Jack Kruschen, and it's delightful. He forgets their names, he doesn't know who's who, but other than that, it's a really happy scene. And then he's throwing flour around the kitchen with Michelle and Stephanie, creating these beautiful memories. And then he's teaching Michelle to dance, and everything's so upbeat and jolly and delightful. And the transition to the next scene is just brutal. Everybody's in the kitchen. Everybody except Michelle is in the kitchen. Absolutely miserable. Crying. It's horrible. And it doesn't take us too long, maybe a minute at the most, to find out that Papouli died in his sleep. And I hate it. It's a gut punch. It's effective. They know what they are doing with this scene. It is so, so powerful. That transition is just so painful. And then to make it worse, Michelle comes home and she asks where Papouli is. And when they tell her, it's kind of like discovering it all over again. A few seconds after we've just learned it for the first time, telling Michelle is like learning it again. And it's horrible, but it's perfectly executed. I feel like they delivered exactly what they wanted to, and it's very, very effective. And then the mood does lift a little bit. Danny has bought a boat, realising life's too short, and he names it the Papouli, which I thought was very sweet. But Jesse's understandably clearly really struggling. He can't look anybody in the eye. His head is down. He's unable to look at anybody, and I feel like it's because if he makes eye contact and sees the compassion of other people, it's going to break him. He's trying to not show his emotions, but it's very clear he is hurting. And Kimmy then comes over, and she's her usual self, but is also sorry for what has happened. And she and DJ had a falling out because DJ had wanted these sunglasses and Kimmy had bought them instead. And they realise that life's too short. You can't ruin a lifelong friendship over a pair of sunglasses. And there are obviously some really beautiful messages in this episode. And then we learn that Michelle didn't go to school. And that's because she's hiding in the Papouli. She's hiding in the boat. Jesse finds her, and she explains that it's because Papouli was supposed to go to her class today to do the dance that they learned. And of course, that's going to make her sad. And Jessie tells her that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to share your feelings. Stephanie had told Michelle to not be upset around Uncle Jesse because it might make him upset. But Jessie quite rightly told Michelle that it's okay to be upset and it's important to share your feelings. And they have a little cry together, and it was just... It's beautiful. And then the ending does lift the mood a little bit. Michelle goes to school, Jessie takes her to her classroom, and she does the dance, but she can't remember it all. And Jessie, who had been watching in the doorway, walks over to her and does the dance with her. And it was a really beautiful way to end it. And I like the fact that they didn't try and end on a funny note. They didn't try and bring the comedy back. It is a sitcom, and it's not unusual, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, where sitcoms will have a really heavy episode, but the last few minutes will be funny. Not disrespectful to the message, but funny in a way. And they could have done that, and I wouldn't have minded it, but I like the fact that they just allowed us to have this really beautiful moment. It was gorgeous. It's a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful episode, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it, but I can't fault it. I think it's stunning. And I don't want to say I'll never watch it again, but there's a very good chance that if I'm binge watching season 7, I might skip it because it's difficult. But it's gorgeous. The Last Dance is a really beautiful episode of Full House. I think they did an amazing job with it. It's very, very emotional, very difficult to watch. And that scene, just cutting from them dancing to game over. Papouli's no more. And again, it's effective, it's emotional, but it also helps to highlight just how sudden and unexpected the ending of a life can be. And they know what they're doing. They knew how to get the maximum emotions out of the viewer. They did a great job with it. I can't fault it. I never want to watch it again. The Last Dance is probably one of the strongest episodes of Full House.